Did you know that you are carrying around something inside your own head that is way more powerful than any supercomputer ever built? I mean, it's the one thing you use every single second of every day, but, most of us barely know anything about it. I'm talking, of course, about your brain.
I know, it sounds like a pretty bold claim, right? Is your brain really more powerful than any computer? Well, stick with me for a few minutes because the evidence is pretty incredible. So we're going to dive into 10 facts that make a very, very convincing case. And trust me, you're going to want to stay for all of them, especially number 7. It is a real shocker, and it might just change the way you think about sleep forever.
All right, let's kick it off with the power source. I mean, every supercomputer needs one, and yours is no different. It turns out your brain is like a miniature power plant. Right now, it's generating enough electricity to light up a small light bulb.
So how is that even possible? Well, inside your brain, you have a staggering 86 billion neurons. Just think of them as these tiny little wires constantly firing off electrical signals, talking to each other. All that incredible activity, that constant chatter, generates about 20 watts of power. It's like having a living, thinking, low-watt light bulb switched on in your head all the time. Okay, so from the brain's power, let's talk about its hardware. This one might sound really simple, but the implications are huge. Your brain is mostly water. We're talking a full 73%. It's basically a super sophisticated, highly organized blob of H2O.
And why does that matter so much? Because any high-performance machine needs to stay cool. Just being 2% dehydrated, which, by the way, is barely enough to even make you feel thirsty, can seriously tank your attention, your memory, and your ability to think clearly. So that afternoon brain fog you feel, it might just be your brain's cooling system running a little low.
Now for our third fact, it all starts with this one number, 70,000. What on earth do you think that represents?
Well, that is the estimated number of thoughts that race through your mind every single day. Your internal processor is running nearly 3,000 little background tasks an hour. From wondering what's for dinner, to solving a problem at work, to suddenly remembering that embarrassing thing you did 10 years ago, your brain is a non-stop thought factory. Okay, this next one is a total paradox. Your brain, the very organ that interprets every single feeling you experience, feels no pain itself. This is literally why surgeons can perform brain surgery on patients who are wide awake.
So, how does that work? Well, think of it this way. Your body is covered in these tiny little sensors called pain receptors. When you stub your toe, those sensors send an urgent red alert up to the main command center, your brain. The brain gets the signal and goes, "Whoa, ouch, that hurts." But the command center itself, it doesn't have any of those sensors. It's the general in the tent, not the soldier on the front lines.
All right, let's talk about memory storage, because there's a huge myth that memories are filed away in one neat little cabinet in your head. But nope, your brain's storage system is way more advanced than a simple hard drive.
See, a single memory is actually a complex, scattered network. It's kind of like distributed computing. When you remember something, like a childhood birthday party, your brain instantly weaves together information from all over the place. The smell of the cake, the sight of your friend's face, the feeling of excitement, the sound of a song. It all comes from different specialized areas, all combined seamlessly to create one single experience.
Okay, fact number 6 is completely backwards from what you'd expect. You might think your brain just powers down when you go to sleep, right? But the opposite is true. Your brain is often way more active when you're asleep than when you're awake and just doing something passive like watching TV.
So what in the world is it so busy doing? Well, it's running its nightly maintenance and defrag cycle. While you're dreaming, it's sorting through the day's memories, deciding which data is important enough to keep long-term. It's also acting like a cleaning crew, clearing out all the harmful toxins that build up while you're awake. And of course, it's recharging for the next day. Sleep is anything but lazy for your brain.
Okay, deep breath. We've arrived at the one I promised would be a shocker. What happens when you skip that essential nightly maintenance? Are you ready for fact number 7?
Here it is. When you are severely sleep-deprived, your brain starts to eat itself. Yes, you heard that correctly. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but this is based on real science.
So what does that even mean? Well, you have these brain cells called astrocytes. Think of them like little janitors, cleaning up worn-out cells and debris. But when you don't sleep, these janitors get a little overzealous. They go into overdrive and can start to clean up perfectly healthy synapses and neurons. The takeaway here is huge. In our modern hustle culture, sleep isn't a luxury. It is an act of essential self-preservation to stop your system from literally deleting its own files.
All right, let's move on to something a little less terrifying. Let's talk about a unique program that this computer can run. See, listening to music isn't just a passive thing, it's a full brain workout. It's one of the only things we do that lights up almost the entire organ at once.
Just think about it. Music fires up the auditory cortex for processing sound, the motor cortex that makes you want to tap your feet, the limbic system that handles all the emotions, and the hippocampus, which links the song to memories. It's a symphony of neural activity, all sparked by just a simple melody.
Now, fact number 9 is probably the most empowering one of all. Your brain is not fixed hardware. It physically rewires itself every single time you learn something new. It can literally upgrade itself. This is something called neuroplasticity.
There's this famous saying that sums it up perfectly. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you practice a new skill, whether it's learning an instrument or a new language, you are literally forging and strengthening new connections between your neurons. Learning isn't just some abstract idea, it is a physical act of construction happening inside your head.
And that brings us to our final, absolutely mind-boggling fact. Let's start with another huge number, 2.5 million gigabytes.
What is that? Well, that's the estimated storage capacity of your brain. Now, to put that into perspective, your average laptop might hold, 512 gigabytes? Your brain holds the equivalent of about 300 years of nonstop video. It is a biological hard drive with nearly limitless space.
So there you have it. 10 facts that help prove you're carrying around a supercomputer far more advanced than anything technology has ever created. So that leaves just one final question. Now that you know the true power of the hardware you've got, what are you going to do with it?